What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to your potentially favorite Nigerian podcast. Bear with me, your host, General Prime. It's been 3 entire weeks since I last did an episode. Like it's been three. The last episode was like on the fourth of this month, right? And today is the 25th. So it's been like 3 weeks since I did an episode. You want to know why? Because in my previous episode I was talking about how I was having a problem with my laptop, right? And so then the next time I wanted to record another episode, laptop was giving me like wahala. And so basically my laptop died, my PC died, and so like I had to like get another one. And I mean that one, my old laptop, like it's done its job now. Like it's done its job. It's lasted me for a while, and it's done its job. So like I had to like get another one. That was why I didn't release any episode. That was why I haven't released any episode for like 3 weeks now. So basically I've gotten myself a new laptop, and here we are. And here we are indeed. Like this one just works like butter. It's just as smooth as butter. Like the difference between this one and the old one is like night and day. And it's like this must be what it feels like to ride in a Rolls Royce. Like if imagine yourself being in a fucking Toyota Corolla all your life, and then one day you just happen to have the chance to find yourself in a Rolls Royce Phantom. Like this must be what it feels like to be in a Rolls Royce Phantom, right? This must be what it feels like to, as in, now I understand the need for wanting new things all the time. Like I don't know, I'm this kind of person that whatever works for me, I just like I use it till I use it till the wheels fall off. Like whatever I don't like. I'm not this kind of person. I'm not a consumerist. I don't know if that's a word at all. Like I'm not the kind of person that will want to like get the new thing or get the new stuff whenever it comes out every year. Like the way people are just so keen on consumerism these days, right? So whatever I have, I like to like use it and use it and use it and use it till it can no longer be used anymore. So this must be what it feels like to, as in, not this, as in I understand what it feels like now to like always have the new stuff, to like always get to like always have the latest thing, like the latest electronics, the latest iPhone, the latest like gadgets, the latest cars and stuff like that. Like I understand exactly what it feels like right now, and it feels good. It feels good basically. Like I'm not even going to like shade it, or I'm not even going to like speak bad about it, but like everything else, right? Like everything else, everything always, there has to be a balance. Basically, there has to be a balance, and so if you overdo it, then there is a problem. Like then it becomes like, as with everything, there always has to be a balance, right? Ranging from lifestyle to like diet to like consumerism to like I don't know, I cannot think of any other thing now, but I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Like everything in life has to have a balance, but if you go overboard, then it becomes obsessive. It becomes slavish, if that's the right word to use. Like people, it's okay to drink once in a while. It's okay to like, I'm not going to say smoke, because obviously smoking is like, we all know how bad it is, regardless of how little or regardless of how um even secondhand smoke is dangerous. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's okay to drink once in a while, maybe a glass of red wine once a week, um or like a beer or two. But when you now start like over drinking, and then you now become an alcoholic, that's when it's bad, right? You become like a slave to it. It's okay to like eat, obviously everybody loves food. It's okay to like indulge once in a while, but it's not okay to become so obsessive with food. That, as in, I know everybody, there's this guy on YouTube, I've forgotten his name right now, but he started off as he started off as a vlogger. His name is Nicocado Avocado, something like that. I don't know. I don't really know how to like pronounce it or say it, or I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. So, but he started off as a vlogger, right? Like he used to do videos. He used to like I think he used to do unboxing videos back then, right? And he was pretty, for someone his age, I'll say he was pretty like kind of fit or healthy enough to just, he was healthy enough, right? And so then he started doing, then when this when mukbang, like when everybody was like was going to mukbang, where they would like sit down and then eat in front of the camera and try new foods and stuff like that, he got into it and found out that, oh, this is what is in vogue now, and this is what is trendy now, and people seem to love it, and people seem to enjoy it, and people seem to love me for it, and I get more interactions and followers and stuff like that. And so then he decided for that to be his primary theme for his video. And so he started eating and eating and eating, and then he started getting fat, bro. And people, and it's like the more he was getting fatter, and like the more he was getting fatter, he was also getting followers and getting money and getting subscribers and getting like paid and stuff like that. But he was getting fatter and unhealthier, and people were like cheering him on and egging and just like cheering him on. And like I don't know what people are just, I don't know, people are just mad. I don't understand. Like, this is what I want to talk about today, bro. I want to talk about how I actually want to talk about freedom today. Like, I know I've been like, it's been a while since I've been saying I want to talk about freedom, and I want to talk about what freedom actually means. Like, as in, it seems like we have the, it seems like we have gotten so out of touch with the meaning that it has become something else entirely. Like, I don't know if anybody has observed, like, there are some things, there are some words, right? There are some words that basically have lost, like basically have lost their meaning, or are on the way to losing their meaning. Like, for example, now let's say the word travel, right? Let's say the word travel. Like, in the past, the word travel used to like have like a really heavy meaning, like meaning as in people would like journey from one part of wherever they are to another part of wherever it is that they want to go to, right? And it used to take months, basically, like because of how limited our technology of how limited transportational technology was back then. It used to take months for people to go to wherever it is that they wanted to go to. There's this book that I just finished reading. It's called The Oregon Trail by Francis Parkman. Is it Francis Parkman? The Oregon Trail by Francis Parkman. So in the book he was talking about, I think it was in like in the earliest days of America, like I think it was in the 17th, I don't know, I cannot remember right now, but back then when America was just recently founded, right? And then I think they had already gained their independence already, and they had really like the war had already ended, and so people were now trying to like spread out all through America to like occupy all the states and stuff. And so people were like going from one end of, I don't know, people were just like trying to spread out to occupy the entire land of America, right? And so like, so in the book, the guy, his name is Francis Parkman. He was talking about, the book basically is his one summer that he spent trying to like go from one part of where I cannot remember where I cannot really remember now, but the basic gist is that he was trying to travel from one part of wherever he was to somewhere else. And the entire book is all about his adventures and the whole wahala that happened, right? So what I understood in the book is that, as in back then, traveling was fucked up, because first of all, there are no good roads. Just imagine no road, like as in you just have the sun and whatever rudimentary compass that you have, and then like the rest of the people traveling with you. There were no good, not even that there were no good roads. There was no road at all. You understand? Like you had to like go through fucking climb mountains through, like really, as in for real, you have to like climb hills and stuff, and you have to deal with wild animals, and you have to deal with the elements. Like there are no shades, there's no hotel that you can like lodge in or whatever. You have to like sleep like just in the wilderness, basically, bro. and there's no drinking water. There's no clean drinking water. Wherever you're lucky enough to like find a stream that you can be able to drink from, you just have to pray to God, whatever God that you believe in. That this is exactly what's happening. Um I'm just trying to like summarize what the book for you in like the most basic way possible. Like, imagine going to you're just traveling, as in just traveling. You're in that, I think it was like in the 1770 something, I don't know. And then you find a stream and you want to drink water, and then you like, obviously it's a stream, it's dirty, and you like you put your cup in the stream and you want to like scoop water to drink. There are tadpoles in the stream, in your cup. There's dirty there, bro. Everything was just fucked up back then. And also all the horse, not even a horse itself, like ox drawn carts, like carts that are drawn by oxes or horses. You understand? The wheels usually fall off, and then they spend like days repairing the wheels. And God help you if it rains, because everywhere will be muddy. And so, bro, I even like my own is that I feel so sorry for all those animals that have to like carry all that heavy load. Because imagine being an ox, imagine being like a fucking horse, just carrying people's load. And bro, it was brutal back then. And it's just so astounding that through human perseverance and through human resilience, like we that we what is the word now, we left Africa. Like the early man left Africa and then spread all over the world. Like, I'm just trying to like imagine how crazy that story would have been. Like, I know that there are 100,000 stories about that, and this Oregon Trail is just one of them, one of the craziest that I've ever read about. And also the how they had to like deal with the red Indian. Is it okay to call them red Indians? The Native Americans, right? So how they had to like deal with the Native Americans, because those Comanches, they are fucking mental, and they'll just kill you and take your scalp, bro. It was crazy back then, man. So it must have been crazy for us to leave America and then like no, not America, sorry, for us to leave Africa and then spread all over the world. Like, human beings are the only animals that you can find literally everywhere in this world, both in the North Pole and the South Pole. Like, we are literally everywhere except except the deep blue sea. But basically what I'm trying to say is that the word travel, right, used to like mean a lot, because back then, first of all, there were no phones, or there was no telegram. That In fact, there were no phones basically. So you had to like write a letter and send it to somebody, and that letter would take months before it got to the person, and then the person will read it and then write a reply and then send it back. And sometimes the letter won't even get back to you, because mostly probably the messenger might die on the road, or the messenger might get lost, or the messenger might lose the letter. As in, there were so many things that happened back then. But at the end of the day, the word travel used to mean a lot, because it took time to get from one point to another. It took time to get from wherever it is that you were before to wherever it is that you wanted to go. And so travel meant a lot. But right now in our current time, traveling has the weight that the word travel used to carry has kind of reduced a little bit, because of how technologically advanced we are right now. So we have planes, we have cars, we have like, imagine going from, okay, I think in the book he talked about how they covered, I think it was 40 miles, if I can remember correctly. They covered like 40 miles in about 4 weeks or so. Just imagine that. So now, 40 miles in 4 weeks, that's an entire month. Like, just to cover 40 miles, something that today can take anybody like 30 minutes, bro. Imagine that, bro. Imagine, as in, something that used to take people so much time to do in the past, right? As in, today we can do it in a matter of minutes, or at most hours. Like, imagine covering 40 miles in an entire month. That's just wild. And And also think of like the transatlantic slave trade, where ships will come from the west, or ships will come from Europe to Africa, and then they'll take slaves, and then they have to like travel back to Europe, or they'll have to like travel back to America, and then it will take them like months, bro. It will take them like months to travel from Africa to wherever the fuck they were, wherever the fuck it is that they were transporting slaves to. But today, like 6 hours, you can go from like Africa to, you can go from 6 hours, you can go from Nigeria to like Turkey. Like 8 hours, you can go from Lagos to America. Like it's just so crazy, man. So all I'm trying to say is that the word travel is kind of losing its meaning, because we're going to get to a point in time and where we'll be so technologically advanced that the word travel is going to die entirely, because then we're going to have like supersonic hyper fucking fast, crazy ass hyper trains and supersonic jets, and even we're going to get to the point where there'll be teleportation, right? And then there'll be no need to say that I'm traveling from fucking America to Nigeria. No, I'm not traveling. I'm just going to. Somebody in America can say I'm going to Nigeria, right? I'm going to Nigeria. Or maybe you have like you're in a relation. There's no longer going to be such a thing as long distance relationships anymore, because your partner, your significant other can be in like Nigeria, and you living in like fucking at their Antarctica or something. And because by then everywhere will be so hot that Antarctica would have melted. So your significant other will be in like Africa, and then you living in Antarctica, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to see you when I close from work in like 6 o'clock, and then by 6 o'clock you just like teleport yourself from Antarctica to Nigeria, and it won't be it will as in it will feel like going to the groceries. Like I think then globalization, like the true, as in the true meaning of globalization, the true what is the word that I'm looking for right now, as in the true intent of globalization would have been achieved, because then there'll no longer be borders, and I don't think there will actually even be countries anymore, because movement to be so rapid and so fast that then what will be the point, right? What would be the point of borders? What would be the point of immigration? What would be the point of emigration? Even what would be the point of like having a passport, or getting in a plane, or all of that stuff, right? Everybody can go wherever they want to go in a very short amount of time. So then there'll be no, as in, then what else, what then will traveling mean? Will it mean like going to the moon, or will it mean, even if we're, or not to the moon, sorry, let's say to Mars, will it mean like going to Mars? But if we had the power of teleportation, right, or if we have the technology for teleportation, then it won't still take that much time to get to Mars from Earth. So the word travel will just die entirely. Like it will be something that nobody will be using anymore again, because then the word is redundant. It does not have any meaning anymore. So but right now it's in that transitory state where its means like waning day by day, because as faster cars are being built, as faster aeroplanes are being like built, as faster technologies are being like worked on, the word travel is just like dying gradually and gradually and gradually. And so it brings me back to what I want to talk about today: freedom. I feel like the word freedom has lost its meaning, because nobody really understands what it is to be free anymore. Nobody really understands what actual freedom really means anymore. It's like people think that because they are able to leave their house whenever they want to leave their house, or because they're able to go to the groceries, or because they're able to go to work and then come back without having any relatively difficult or like difficult day, or maybe, as in, I feel like people think that because they're able to like have a relatively safe day or relatively safe life, like there are so many people that will never, as bad as the world is today, there are so many people that will never encounter true despicable evil, luckily for them. And so they feel like they're living in this blissful world, and they have this um should I say ignorant idea of a blissful utopia where everything is just glee and there's sunshine and rainbows and all of that stuff. People, as in, there are people that will never encounter true evil in this world. So because of that, based on that, because of that, they think that they are free. They think that they have freedom. Like they become, as in, it gets to a point Steph, where they become entitled, and they get so bored and they become entitled, and people start looking for problem. As in, people start looking for problems by themselves. Oh. Like I'm talking about Americans right now. Like Americans are so free to the point that they now start looking. They get bored of the freedom, and then they now start looking for problems. Like as in insignificant problems to pick up and to fight and to solve and to like complain about, right? So but that is not actually free. That is just I like to call it privilege, right? It's not actually freedom, because as in if you think of it, right, I don't, as in, there isn't really that much freedom these days, because there is something that always ties us down. There's something that's always like, there is always this anchor that like keeps people down, like keeps people from floating, like it's always trying to like bring people, like sink people to the bottom. And every day it keeps growing. Like every day this anchor keeps getting bigger and keeps growing, and it keeps like entrapping and like capturing a lot of people. And one of these anchors is like technology. And there used to be a time when technology was this liberating and as in just liberating tool that we humans adopted and we humans discovered, that we would use to like make life easier for ourselves. Like back then, during as in back then, when man was just like in the early stages of his evolution, when we first started using tools to like break rocks and to like break into let's say coconuts and stuff like that. When we started using rocks to break coconuts, and then when we discovered like iron and metal and stuff like that, and then we're now able to like, we also discovered fire, and then we were able to use fire to like cook food and make the food softer, and we're able to use it to like see in the dark, and we're able to use it to like warm ourselves from like the cold and stuff like that. These are all rudimentary technological devices, right? But as time went on and then civilization became more and more advanced, technology increased and technology got better and more efficient, and we stay lacking, like we stay slacking, we stay allowing the technology to take over our lives. And fast forward to now, I know I'm just brushing it. I'm not going into intricate details about it, because there's not much I can remember right now, because I am not high and I have not smoked in like, I don't know, I've not smoked this whole like since last month. Actually, I think it's since last month, and I've been on this OMAD, meaning 1 meal a day kind of diet plan, and it's actually been working perfectly for me, because I don't know, I just feel so light and I feel so, I don't know, alive, and I don't think I need, and I've not had any alcohol, and I just feel so alive, and I feel so healthy. But the downside of it is that because I'm not able to drink and because I'm not able to like smoke, I just feel, I don't know, I'm just missing it. Do you understand? I know that this stuff I'm doing right now, like working out every day and like having 1 meal a day, I know it's good for me, but I just really need to like smoke and drink and just chill and relax. But I think at the end of this month, when I'm done with all the whole exercise and stuff like that, I'm going to like maybe smoke a few blunts here and there, like have a few beers and just relax, right? So back to what I was talking about. Um, I'm not going into the intricacies of it. I'm just like brushing it. I'm just trying to like I'm just trying to explain it as best as I can. Um, we're allowing technology. That is basically what I want to say. We are allowing technology to take over our lives, and it's getting to the point where it's becoming detrimental to ourselves. Like there's this video I saw on Twitter where there was somebody was filming somebody was filming a scene where a boss like ran over a woman, and like dragged her from like one end of the street to another end to the other end of the street, and her intestines and her brains and all her guts, and there was gore and blood everywhere, and the road was just pink. Like imagine being dragged. And I don't know if you guys have seen movies where they drag someone, like they tie someone to the end of a car, and then the car is being driven, and then the person is being dragged. Like that, just imagine that, and then imagine the entire road being pink, not even red, just pink, because the insides of your body are actually pink, right? I mean, we've all seen as in the insides of the body is like pink. So just imagine that for a second. And then the guy was like shocked, and he was just like screaming, and like he was videoing the whole thing. But and then there's this lady that was now like there was someone that was like crossing the road, and she was walking on somebody's guts, and she didn't know that she was walking on somebody's guts. Do you know why she didn't know she was walking on somebody's intestines and liver and brains and everything? She didn't know because she was on her fucking phone, and she didn't even know that somebody was videoing something and was like talking about how somebody had just like died gruesomely. Like this woman was like on her phone. She didn't. If she was walking, she was stepping on somebody's brains, probably, and somebody's intestines, and she'd not even like send. She'd not care. She was just walking because she was on her phone. She was not looking, and I'm sure that's how that same. I'm sorry to say, and I don't actually know if it's true, but I'm sure this stuff has happened before. And but what I want to say is that I'm sure that's how that same woman died, right? Because we're also fixated on our phones, and I don't know if anybody has seen this movie Don't Look Up. Like we no longer have the ability to look up anymore because we're just so stuck on our phones. Like our phones, that we're so engulfed, and we're so addicted, and we're so entrapped and enslaved by this device that initially was supposed to be a tool to help us to like maybe be a little bit closer to people that we are in relationships with, to be a little bit closer to our families, our friends, our colleagues at work. I don't know, like to be able to take pictures, to be able to, I don't know, phones, to be able to like communicate effortlessly. Like like I was talking about traveling before, right? It used to take months for people to like people that, for example, now people that went to war, people that went off to war, and then they got letters from their loved ones back home. Like to take months for that letter, or even weeks for that letter. If I'm being conservative, to take weeks for the letter to like get to them, and God help them if the letter gets to them before they get killed in war. But today you can be able to like call your loved ones, and I don't know, just call your loved ones and hear from people that you care about and people that you know, basically, within a matter of seconds. But we are crossing the boundary of helpfulness to being enslaved by this technology that we created for ourselves. Like the whole idea of let me just use Instagram as an example. Everybody knows how dark and how evil Instagram has become, right? But if you can think of like the early days of Instagram, the whole idea of Instagram basically was to like upload pictures of yourself and then share it with people that you are familiar with, people that are in your lives, basically. But these days now, I've noticed that there are actually no longer like normal pictures on Instagram. Like there are no more pictures, like no more actual relatable pictures on Instagram. 99.9% of the pictures, or 99.9% of the content on Instagram right now, are just like airbrushed, filtered, as in like just I don't know how to explain, like filtered lifestyles and hyper sensationalized lifestyles. Everybody's like living their best life. Everybody's like so successful. Everybody's so happy. Basically, everybody's so as in cool, and they're like it feels like they're on vacation all the time. It feels like everybody has so much money to be able to spend on cars and clothes and toys and stuff like that, and to go on vacation. Everybody's like so picture perfect and so pristine and so beautiful and so airbrushed and so photoshopped and so jacked and so buff, and so I don't know, everybody's just so hyper realistic on Instagram, as opposed to what the initial intention of Instagram used to be. Like back then, there used to be like normal pictures. Like you just take a picture of yourself as a normal human being, as like an everyday average normal human being, and that was just it. And then you shared it and you got like at most 10 likes. But now it's like I don't know, bro, man. As in, it's not like a competition where, and also, as in, it's not like a competition where if you're not, as in, there's this fear of missing out, like they call it FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, where if you're not in with the club, of if you're not in, then you're out, and then you're going to get left behind, you're going to get left out. Like everybody now has to like do everything in their power to be able to feel among, right? People even like we've all heard about all these like Instagram models that will go to Brazil to like do Brazilian butt lift and do surgeries and like inflate their asses just so that they can have big butts on in Instagrammable big butts. I don't understand. Like, bro, and everybody thinks that this is freedom. This is not freedom. This is enslavement. You're being enslaved by technology. You're being enslaved by the very device that was created to be of use, or is it to be of use? What am I trying to say? You're being enslaved by the very technology that was created to be of use to you. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. Like this stuff was made to be a tool, was made to be a useful tool for you, but now it has become your god. Like in my previous, there's one episode I cannot remember the episode now in particular, that was talking about what we give 55% of our time to every day is our actual god. Like regardless of your belief, your religious belief, regardless of how how righteous or how in love you claim to be with Jesus or with Allah or with Buddha or whoever or whatever, like if you spend 55% of your time doing something else, that thing is what is your god, what you worship. Like the very term worship is something that you give adoration to, is something that you give your entire time to, something that you give your devotion and your entire self to. So if your god is Instagram, and so like every day you post pictures, you post reels, I don't know, bro, there are people that follow one. See, do you know do you know one thing that I've noticed on as in that I have noticed on Instagram, bro? There are people that follow 1,000 people. Like, what? How are you able to follow 1,000 entire people, and you're now able to keep up with them, and you just have this constant flood of information? Like, bro, I know I'm just jumping from one thing to another. I'm just trying to like explain myself. I don't know if anybody else really, I don't know if anybody else has really noticed noticed how beautiful and how just calming and how as in centering silence is. Like, I don't, if you can remember in the past when we didn't really have phones. Let's say you want to go and take a shit, right? Let's say you want to like go to the toilet and like take a shit, right? And these days, whenever you want to go and take a shit, obviously you're going to, if as in, it's going to be weird if you don't go with your phone, right? Because you have to have something to constantly keep you going. Because, bro, this is an addiction. This is a drug that we are all so fucking addicted to. So if you don't go to toilet with your phone, then you're weird. But back then it wasn't weird, right? I know some people used to have like magazines in their toilets and stuff, but silence gives you the ability to think. Silence gives you the ability to reflect. Silence gives you the ability to be creative. Do you understand? Silence gives you the ability to be reflective, to think far, to think vast, to think wide, to come up with new ideas, to come up with new things, like to come up with like new to manifest new imaginations. Do you understand? But if you like, and I've noticed it, do you understand? Sometimes I decide that okay, I'm not going to go to work with my phone, or I'm not going to like give that much attention to my phone. Like sometimes, most times these days when I wake up in the morning, I don't like use my phones. I know I'm I know I'm lying right now, but let's say 40% of the time these days when I wake up in the morning, I don't like give that much attention to my phone. I just like to like lie down and just bask in the silence of early morning. Like there's no sound, there's no noise, there's no like buzzing, there's no honking, there's no there's no human elements to it. There's just quietness and there's just silence. And then I just like to like enjoy it. You understand? These days I don't think there are people now that subscribe to this idea of silence and soliloquy. Like everybody wants to be the first, everybody wants to be the first to know, everybody wants to know the information, everybody wants to like hop in on the new thing, everybody is like afraid of me, everybody has this fear of missing out. And so people are constantly just trying, as in people are constantly being barraged with information. Information used to be something that is information used to be useful, information used to have weight, information used to be informative. Do you understand? But now information does not have any meaning again, because right now anything can be news. Now there's this new term now, bad press is, they say bad press is good press, right? Even if they're saying bad things about you online, at least they are saying something about you. So bad press is also good press, because like I just said right now, even if they're saying bad things about you, like, as in, bro, there's just chaos. There's just mad chaos. Everybody has gone mad. Everybody has run mad. I swear to God. Am I recording? Yes. Yes, I am recording. Everybody has gone mad. There's no silence. There's no retrospection. There's no just shut up and just quiet and just sit down and just think. Like, not, there's no meditation. As in, people have even the term meditation, people have, as in, it has lost its meaning, because now it has become such a pretentious activity. Like the term yoga now, like something that people are supposed to use to, as in, center the mind and like get back to yourself and like get back to yourself and center yourself. It has become so pretentious now. There are now fucking yoga shops everywhere where people go to meditate and do rubbish and just fuck everything up, man. Like, the very term meditation has lost its meaning. Like, people, as in, there are so many things now that are losing meaning and losing value and losing, as in, losing themselves, that because they're becoming so cheap. They're becoming so cheap because everybody's misusing everything. Everybody's just taking everything and everybody's just misusing and mismanaging everything. Nobody wants to like take into account what things actually mean anymore. Nobody wants to take into account what things actually are anymore. Everybody just wants to use everything at once, which is just sad. Bro, technology technology that used to be this tool that we invented and we discovered, should I say invented or discovered, and I think technology is part of human nature, but we are allowing technology to as in we are allowing technology to, as in, turn us into zombies, turn us into these reductionist beings that are less than humans. Do you understand? Like, we're allowing technology to make us this bastardized parody of human beings. As in, do you know that there was, okay, I was reading wait, what book was I reading? What book was I reading? Wait, what is the name of this book again? Fuck, I've forgotten the name of the book. But I was reading this book, and in Greek times, right? In Greek times, they don't, when, as in, before the advent of writing, bro, I'm trying to remember the name of the book I was reading. I cannot even remember. See, but before the advent of writing, before we came up with writing, before there was parchment, before there was ink, before we even had like stone, before we even had stone writings, right? They used to, whenever you wanted to convey or like tell a story, or whenever, because there were people that were storytellers, there were people that were they were actors, like back then in Greek times, like people that used to perform in the theater, like the theater artists, right? I've forgotten what book. I don't even know the book I was reading, though, bro. I know I read a lot of books to the point that I cannot even remember the one that I'm actually trying to like talk about right now. But back then, they didn't have like, they had to like memorize their lines. Do you understand? Whenever you wanted to like tell a story, or whenever you wanted to like convey a message or something, like for example now, doctors or herbalists, whenever they wanted to like um tell people how a particular kind of medicine worked, they had to like cram everything. They had to like, everything had to like be retained in their head, in their brains, so that they can be able to remember it and then like convey the message and relay the message. Or or if you're like an actor, or somebody that recites stuff, or recites a message or something like that, you have to like be able to remember like a whole lot of things, a whole lot of words, a whole lot of sentences, right? And you have to be able to like relay it accurately to people. And this is how retentive our memory used to be. This is how retentive our mind used to be back then. But these days now, we don't even have the ability to be able to remember phone numbers anymore. We don't even have the abilities anymore now to even to be able to remember passwords now. Well, there are apps now that they've created that can like generate passwords for you and help you like save your passwords, because apparently there are hackers that are trying to like hack. I don't know why it would be so important for hackers to like care, except for people that want to like steal your money, or if you're like this flashy person that likes to like, or if you're careless online, I don't know. But now there are apps now that can help, that can generate passwords for you. Like, we don't even have the ability to be able to think of passwords anymore. We don't even have the ability to be able to remember fucking phone numbers anymore. Like, we just have phone numbers and then they're stored on our phones. And if we lose, if like people, I know I can remember my parents' phone number and my girlfriend's phone number and my phone number, obviously. And but I don't think, I don't, those are just the basic ones, and those are my like primary contacts, right? But there are many people now that don't have that especially new generations like the Gen Zs and Gen X, yeah, Gen Zs and Gen X that are coming up now. I don't think people are able to remember phone numbers anymore. And there's this video I was watching one time on YouTube, like YouTube Shorts. People don't even actually know how to like read analog clocks. Like Gen Z don't know how to like tell the time with analog clocks. That's how fucked up we are right now. That's how much of ourselves that we have given over to technology, how much of ourselves and how much of our minds that we have handed over to technology to take control of. You understand? Like, there's no creativity anymore. Like, people are no longer able to remember things anymore. People are no longer to, as in we have just become so dependent and so tied to and so enslaved by technology that we have given everything, or we have given our entire essence to it, right? um there It's summer now. Like, let me just give you one example. It's summer, obviously, and so I was coming back from the ends of the earth, as the devil that I am, and obviously the sun was blaring. It was hot as fuck, and then there's this like lady that was like standing under a tree, and she was holding an umbrella, and she was standing under a tree while I was walking under the sun as a black man, and she was like, that I should come out from under the sun, that the sun is too hot. And I was like, no, I'm fine. That it's not that hot. That she has an, or she's with an umbrella, she can continue going to wherever it is that she's going to. But auntie was like, no, she's I don't know whether she said she's allergic to the sun. Like, why would you, you're a human, you are, listen, the sun is our primary source of light. Like, I know that right now climate change has made it so that it's kind of hot. I don't know, it's hotter than it used to be. And but it's our primary source of light. It warms, it makes plants grow, it gives life and stuff like that. But how can you be allergic to the sun? Right? Is this how sheltered we have become? That there are people now that are scared of the actual sun. Like, there are people that rather stay, as in, I don't understand. Like, we have become so less than human. We have become so subhuman that someone can argue that we have become aliens, basically. Bro, there's no freedom again. Like, there literally isn't any freedom again, like in every aspect of our lives. Like, let me tell you something. As in, I know it's not every day, but sometimes I think of it. Like I think of how lucky we are, of the fact that we humans are not clairvoyant, and we don't have the natural ability to be able to read each other's minds. Because if we had that ability, like if we had superpowers, and if we had the ability to like read minds, I don't know if there'll be chaos. I know maybe there might be initial chaos, but eventually there is going to be like everything is going to like get balanced or something. But imagine that if we had the ability, like everybody developed the ability right now to be able to read each other's minds, there'll be absolute chaos. There'll be pandemonium. Like a lot of people are going to die. There, as in, people are going to like find out things that they never in 1,000 years could have thought about. So, and I've talked about this like in a previous episode, which I cannot remember, which I cannot particularly remember, but I've talked about it before, right? Maybe you can like check it out and check out my previous episodes. But imagine that we had that ability, but and every day I am thankful that we don't. But technology has made it so that it is possible, like not like in a direct sense, but maybe like in a like kind of like a partial way to be able to like read minds. And we have algorithms right now that can like we have algorithms that will like detect your patterns and detect how you behave, your behavioral patterns, and then from there deduce the next thing that you're going to do. Like now we have algorithms that this article I read one time about this man that was sharing his Amazon account with his daughter. And so he got to one time when he now started receiving like when he now started receiving fucking baby 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 products on his Amazon account. And so he was like, why am I fucking receiving baby products on my Amazon account? It turns out that the algorithm figured out that his daughter was fucking pregnant, bro. The algorithm figured out before this man, even before his fucking daughter, that she was pregnant, and so they're like fucking feeding her baby product. Like we've all had instances in our lives, in our dreary ordinary lives, where maybe we might be talking about something. It has even gotten to the point where sometimes we are thinking of it. We're not even like saying it out loud though. We're not having a conversation with somebody while our phone is like on the table. We're just saying, I don't know. Have you noticed? Have you observed it? Like, has this happened to you before, where you're thinking of not saying, not talking, just thinking of something, and you decide to like look it up, and then the first word that you see when you want to type it on Google is the exact same thing that you're thinking about. I don't know if it has happened to anybody, but it most definitely has happened to me. But the one that I'm very sure that has happened to a lot of people is like, you might be talking about something, and maybe you might be talking about something that you want to buy, and then you like check Facebook or like check Instagram, and then you now start seeing the product online, and you now start wondering like, why am I seeing this product that I was just talking about right now? Like, is it that they are listening to me? Yes, they are absolutely yes, they are absolutely listening to you. Your phone is absolutely listening to you. Your PC is like this new laptop that I bought right now, bro. I covered the webcam. And my housemate was like, why are you covering the webcam? I'm like, bro, we are living in trying times. I'm trying to be conscious of this fact that we are no longer free. We are living in a semi-dystopian reality where technology has become God, where humans are now being enslaved by technology, where humans are now being ruled by technology, where humans are willingly and freely and as in deliberately giving themselves up to this new god called technology. And me, I used to be this scientifically minded person where I used to uphold science and technology to the most prestigious and highest high horse ever, until the whole COVID wahala started in 2020. And then I started force feeding us this whole idea of like, then I started forcing us to get vaccinated, and I started forcing us to wear masks, and I started forcing us to stay at home. And if you didn't want to comply, then you're a bad person. Then you don't want people to, you want people to die. Then you're a white supremacist, even though you're black. Then it's like they were forcing us to do what we didn't want to do. even though initially at the time everybody was scared because this is something that not everybody was, this is something that we're not used to. Yeah, there had been pandemics in the past, but in this modern age, this COVID-19 pandemic was the first that most people had encountered in their lives. And so it was, as in, everybody was right to be scared initially, but because the powers that be were not giving the right information, they were not like telling people the right thing to do. They just wanted to like use that opportunity to be able to control people, and people fell for the control. People fell for that tactic, and people like turned on each other and turned on themselves, and like everybody was just ran mad. And bro, it was chaos. But I used to be this like scientifically minded person, right? Where I respected science and technology and everything that I thought that science was this um as in science was this tool that humanity would use to like take us to the next level of our evolution, and science was like the procedure that would humanity would use to take us to our next level of evolution, and technology was the tool that we would use to like that we would use to get us to that point. But and also I was of the opinion that um science and technology was the basis of morality, not even religion. Even though I have changed my mind on that, and the reason I changed my mind is because I mean I used to think back then that um I used to think that back then that even though I'm kind of still partially right, that you don't need religion to be right. You don't need religion to be a good person. You don't need religion to be moral, because I was basing it on my own self evaluation. I was thinking that yes, I'm this person that I don't believe in God, and so and yet I still try my best every day to be moral, to be right, to be just, to be good. And so every other person that is supposedly an atheist also, um I was thinking that every other person, sorry about that, I was thinking that every other person would think that same way, not knowing that there are people with ulterior motives, not knowing that there are people with like people that are actually bad regardless of if they believe in God or not, and so they're going to do whatever the fuck that they wanted to do. So right now we're seeing how demoralizing people have become. Like people, as in, to the point that I am even rooting for the Christians, I'm even rooting for the people that for the religious people, for them to like back control of everything. Because like, yes, I'm agreed, people no longer believe in God, mostly in America right now, and but they are not going the way that I initially thought that they were going to. Like they are not becoming scientifically minded, they are not becoming mindful, they are not being technologically inclined, they're not, as in, they don't have common sense, they don't have logic, they are not moral. They're just demoralized. They're just being fucked up. Like everybody's just doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Like nobody has regard for life anymore. Nobody has regard for their fellow man. Like everybody's just homeless. Everybody's just drug induced. Everybody's just drugged out in America. People are stealing. People are killing. There is just chaos in America right now because people no longer believe in God, and because they think that they can do whatever the fuck that they want to do. Right. So I was absolutely wrong on that front, because I thought that me, as a person that don't believe in God and tries to be good every day and tries to do the right thing, I thought that everybody is going to like, people that don't believe in God will be scientifically minded and scientifically inclined and to do the right thing, right? Well, I was absolutely wrong. So as in, I used to believe that this was where science and technology would have taken us to the right path. But right now, all I'm saying is that it's taking us down the hill. It's taking us downhill. Like it's dragging us down. It's bringing us. It's enslaving us. Like it's turning us into zombies. Like literal, actual zombies. Like we are not ourselves anymore, man. People will literally do anything to be. As in, everybody now wants to be famous, and I don't get it. Like everybody is a content creator right now, me included. Me, I'm not doing it because, like I've said this several times, I'm not doing it because I want to be famous, or I want to be like Mr. Beast, or I want to like be like PewDiePie, or I want to like be like Joe Rogan, or I want to be like fucking, I don't know who else is famous. But I'm doing it because I love podcasting. I feel like I can just like sit down on my bed in my room, like turn on my laptop and like connect my microphone and just rant about things that I find interesting. Even though I don't get a lot of listeners, I just enjoy it and I do it, and I try as much as possible to like share it as best as I can. But But people, as in people, a lot of people are content creators for for the reason, as in a lot of people, the reason why a lot of people want to become content creators, or are becoming content creators is like, we have this tool now, like we have these phones, like it's the new phones now are Hollywood, as in Hollywood grade cameras. Like you can actually shoot a movie on your iPhone 14, like a very good. I mean, not Hollywood level, but like a very good. Like it, as in the camera quality is like so good, right? The as in people have the ability now to just create whatever they want to do, to just do whatever it is that they want to do online. We are basically living in a digital world, right? Because we have these tools in our hand. And so, but some people are actually creative, while so many others are just doing it because they can do it, and because they want to be famous, and because they want to be known, and because they have this fear of missing out. They don't want to be left behind. Everybody is a fucking content creator now. Everybody wants to like put their like. If everybody is unique, then nobody is unique. Like if everybody, I'm not going to say that you should not put your stuff out there. Oh. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, yes, there's this influx and there's this flooding of information and creativity and like talents and like showcasing and everything and bobo everywhere and all these social media fronts. But chill, man, it's tiring. Okay, yeah. I know maybe the feedback or the backlash I'm going to get is like, if it's tiring for me, then I should like tune in and turn, and what is that? What is that word now? I should just turn everything off and like just like shut down everything and like just live my life, right? I understand that, but what the main thing I'm trying to say is that we seem to have lost our freedom. We're no longer creative. We no longer have retentive memory. We're no longer able to think for ourselves. We have this influx of constant information flooding into our ears that is making us not to be able to think, and is making our brain to just keep getting flooded all the time. And we are no longer be able to deduce right information from wrong information, misinformation from right information. Like we're no longer able to, like, everybody wants to be the first to be on, like, this this what is this what they call it, the submarine that sank a few days, that was a few days ago, right? And then the 5 passengers on board died, like the 5 billionaires on board died. Like everybody was just pushing the news and pushing the news. It turns out that actually they died way before everybody knew. Like they died, as in the cutoff time for the oxygen to run out was on Thursday morning, right? And everybody was praying that they will be found before that Thursday, before the oxygen runs out. It turns out that they had died earlier, like way earlier. Like as in, even I think it was like the same day that the submarine went missing was actually still the same day that they died, because apparently it had exploded. But everybody kept pushing this narrative that, we don't, there's not a lot of time to save these people, and there's not a lot, and we have to like put, as in, bro, it was on most news, it was on most major news networks. Like I think it was CNN itself that they even like put a timer, as in, this is how fucked up this whole thing is. Like this is how dystopian this whole entire thing is. Like the new, like another thing again is that if you want to be free, if you want to gain back your freedom, I think you should stop watching the news. Like the news is so fucked up that they don't even want to be, they don't even care about being right. They just want to like put out anything just so that people, as in most major news networks, right, have this they sell fear to people. And if you're scared, you're more, as in, you'll be more attentive, right? You'll be more alert. So but yet you'll not be able to think clearly. That is what fear does to you. So news sells fear. And so every, like, 90% of the things that you hear on news are things that are scary, things that are dystopian, things that are like worrying, things that are bothering, things that are just fucked up. Like right now, yesterday now, there's this news that came out that the Wagner group are storming Moscow, and they want to like impeach, or there was an attempted coup on in Russia against Putin, and that Putin like fled and stuff like that, bro. I don't know how that one is going to end though. That's what I'm a lot more interested in. I'm not even interested. There's always something, bro. Like there is never a shortage of there's never a shortage of something interesting and something that you're being forced to pay attention to. Like there is always something. Like we just finished this whole episode of the submarine that sank with 5 billionaires inside, or should I say four billionaires inside, and one teenager. And the immediate thing that followed is Wagner attempting to take over Russia and destroy Putin's regime. Like there is never a shortage of information that is there to grasp your attention. That is the kind of world that we're living in. Like we cannot just rest. There's no time to rest. There's no time to like catch your breath. There's no time to like take a second and just reflect on things. There is always something. There is always a new thing. There's always something to grab you. There's always something to keep you in fear. There's always something to like get your attention. It's almost as if we're living life is like a Fast and Furious movie where they keep like raising the stakes. Do you understand? It's almost as if we're living like Fast and Furious movie where like as in every day, like everything, like the action, the drama is like more intense and keeps increasing and increasing and increasing, and there's no like time. There's no time to like catch your breath and like just rest and ask yourself what the fuck is going on, man. Like it's kind of fucked up. It's just so fucked up. Now Wagner now is not trying to like invade Moscow, to try to like invade Russia, to try to like just as in I don't know. I cannot even explain what's going on. I'm just observing, and now they are now putting Putin in a corner. No pun intended. They are putting Putin in a corner, bro. They are putting Putin in a corner, and they are going to put him in such a they are going to put Putin in such a tight situation that he might have no other option than to this time around. It's going to be fucked up. If it's going to be crazy if it turns out that he will now like nuke Russia. You understand? No longer Ukraine is now going to nuke. It's now be Russia now that he will now nuke. It's like this drama, like I always say, it can never no movie director, no movie producer, no writer can ever come up with something as crazy as this, man. So the next thing I want to talk about now, based on this whole freedom thing that I've been writing about for the past hour, is the next thing I want to talk about is AI. We have gotten to the point in our technological advancement where we have created for ourselves a new god called AI. Now AI has taken over the world. Yes, and artificial intelligence, ChatGTP, has taken over the world, and it's becoming scary. And I know that there are people that are more in tune, they're more familiar with it, and all these like computer engineers and all these like intelligence people, all these scientists that are saying that AI cannot like control us, or AI cannot be able to like enslave us like the way it happens in movies, like in like let me say Terminator and like Skynet basically. But the truth is that it's actually doing even way worse than that. Like it doesn't need to kill, as in, the way that they dramatized it in Terminator now, where the robots like had to like start killing people, and like there are these killer robots that were killing people. I don't think in real life, I don't think that AI would would waste that much time, or would go that should I say go that far, or would take that, or use that method to like wipe out humanity. I think AI would need humanity to do things that it might find too, or should I say too unnecessary, or too time wasting to do. Right now, for example, I don't know. Okay, now let me give you one example. In the past, right, people, I don't know if in the past, let me just say in the past, let me just start from there. In the past, people used to, let's use painting as an example. Let's use sculptures and paintings as an example. People used to take time to do intricate paintings, to make intricate artwork that are rich and beautiful to look at, and when you just look at them, you're wowed, and you're just standing there in awe and wonder, and just basking at the beauty of how the painting looks like, right? Let's say you go to like all these churches, or like all these cathedrals in Rome, and then you look at the ceiling and you look at how beautiful the paintings there are, right? But these days now, all you just need to do now to like I think all you just need to do now is just like type in a few words and you get yourself an artwork. That is how effortless it is. That is how much of ourselves, and that is how much of our humanity, how much more of our humanity that we have handed over to this beastly god called technology. It's like before, even as in not even before the advent of AI itself. In the past, okay, everybody knows how iconic the British telephone booth is, right? Everybody knows how iconic the red British telephone booth. I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. But right now, the British telephone booths now in UK, it's like so minimal. As in everything now is minimalistic. There is no artwork. There is no creativity. Everything, they just want to like take the least part of resistance to create to. As in people now are taking the least part of resistance to for creativity. Like people are taking the least part of resistance for creativity. Like before in the past, people would like, as in things. If you wanted to make a table, like there's this table that I saw online of some king in the past, bro. This table had so many hidden locks and pockets and drawers and like so many buttons that you can put, but it's a wooden table, right? But these days now you just like put in one giant slab, put in 4 sticks by the side, and you call it a day. Like there is no more effort. People are no longer putting efforts in things. Like it seems that everybody's in a haste, and where we're going, I don't even know. You understand? I don't even know where we're now going to. Like if you look at artworks in the past, if you look at cathedrals in the past, if you look at buildings in the past all over the world, India, Europe, Africa, America, like there used to be a lot of, you know, that if you see something that somebody built, a sculpture, a building, a painting, an artwork, whatever it is, a tool itself, furniture, clothing, whatever it is, bro. Whatever it is, bro, it used to be so intricate and so interesting to look at, and so beautiful, and so filled with talent, and so filled with creativity, and so filled with key, as in, you know that this person took a lot of time to create this stuff. But right now it's just fucked. Okay, now there's this another video. I'm always referencing videos that I've seen, because where else would I have seen this kind of crazy things, right? You know, all these all these fashion shows, bro, those are the ones that piss me off the most. These fashion shows where they showcase their clothes that fashion quote unquote fashion designers make. It's so absurd. What, as in, the clothes are so stupid and so impractical, and who in their right minds wear this? Like there's one that I saw that the guy was like so so distorted, and the way he was so uncomfortable in the clothes. It's like, what are you people doing? What is this that you're doing? Who told you that this thing that you're creating right now is interesting? And only idiots and rich fools like these fucking like these fucking rich billionaires, that these cheap ass rich billionaires that died in these submarines, only people like that would want to wear clothes like that, because it doesn't make any sense why you would want to wear something that's uncomfortable, and something that's ugly, and something that there was no thought to it. As in, this whole nonchalance is, I think it is in every, I feel like it is in every, it has gotten to every aspect of life, from music to food to fashion to techno. As in, nobody is putting in effort anymore to create things. I know that there are still people that are journeymen, and there are still people that are master craftsmen, and people like, I like watching those videos on YouTube where people like, take old things and then repair it and restore them. Like those are the videos I watch the most on YouTube, really, from restoring knives, restoring old cars, restoring like just old stuff like furniture. So I love watching those videos on YouTube, and I know that there are still a lot of people that are creative enough to put in the work and put in to show love to their craft and their to show love to their craft and their talent, right? But on the other hand, people there are also people that are not putting in efforts, people that are just doing nonsense, people that are just doing nonsense, just doing rubbish. Another one again is like I was talking before, like I was saying before, the whole artwork. Like before, paintings used to be so intricate and used to be so sublime, you understand, and so interesting to look at and beautiful. But now you go to the museum these days, and somebody will just like, I don't know, somebody will just like tape a banana to the wall and call it art. What? Why? How? When? Where? Like there's literally no effort again. Before there used to be very beautiful sculpture. Bro, there is this sculpture I saw on Twitter. I don't know. I'm sure many people have. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Like it's so intricate that it is made of marble. Like is it marble? Yeah, it's made of stone. Right. The guy is so creative that is it, I don't know who made it, bro. I don't know who made that sculpture. Is of a woman, and she's covered by a veil, like a veil, right? But it's made of stone. Like he made the stone transparent, that you can see the veil that is covering the woman. Like you can see her, like her silhouette under the fucking veil. Like that's how creative and that's how beautiful this stuff is. But now these days you go to a museum, somebody will just like carry a giant rock and drop it somewhere and call it a day and call it art. That is how on as in that they're not putting in efforts. They're not, everybody is just, as in, creativity has been bastardized. Like there's no talent anymore. I'm not saying that there is no talent at all entirely, but people that are claiming to be the ones that know how to do it, people that are claiming to be the masters, that are claiming that they are the heads, that are claiming that they are the ones that know how to do it, right? But then you give them the opportunity to do it. They don't know how to do nothing. They don't know how to do shit. They're just doing rubbish. There's no creativity. There's no talent. There's no effort, basically. So we have given our our efforts to AI now to like help us do it for us. Now these days, now most paintings or artwork that you see on Instagram now are AI paintings. I'm not saying that they are bad though. I mean, they are very good. In fact, there is this AI painting that won an award. I think that was last year, right? For how beautiful and how creative it is. But as opposed to I feel like it is better for somebody to for somebody to put in the time and efforts to do whatever it is, to draw whatever it is, or paint whatever it is that he wants to paint. Because I mean, obviously, it takes time, right? And so the time that it takes makes it valuable. But if you can just type in a few prompts on your keyboard and then press enter and then just generate something for you, I don't think it's going to be that valuable, right? I don't think it's going to be that, as the people are going to take it, that I know it's going to be beautiful, but I don't know, me personally, I wouldn't want to like give it that reverence, because there was not a lot of efforts that was put into it. It's just a few keystrokes and prompts that created it. Even though yes, it is still someone that created the AI, and yet there was a lot of coding involved in the creation of that AI, right? To make that artwork, to make all these artworks that we're seeing these days. So that is basically all I think I have for today concerning this whole freedom stuff, right? Like, we like to think that we're free, but in actuality, we're not free. Another thing, okay, now this is not all. There's one more point I want to make. Like I was talking about us being clairvoyant before, right? And being thankful for the fact that we humans don't have the ability to be able to read each other's minds, because if we could read minds, there will be chaos in the world. But Technology and the technologies that we have these days are like trying to like read our minds and trying to like keep us under control and trying to like know what it is that we want or know what it is that in fact they know who we are. They're trying to know who we are more than we know ourselves. You understand? So I feel like in the future there's going to get to we are going to get to a point in our technological advancement where currency will no like currency as we know it today, like money as we know it today, will no longer be the source, will no longer be the means for information. Like as in currency will no longer be the means of economic as in will no longer be the means of exchange. Like money will no longer be basically what I'm trying to say is money will no longer be currency. What will be currency will be data. Like right now companies are scrambling and doing fighting tooth and nail and doing everything in their power to be able to to get your information, right? To get data about you, to get to know who you are, to know what you want and what you like, so that they can curate their products to entice you and so that you can buy their products, right? So a lot of companies are doing that right now, and there are data brokers. There are people that, like for example, now we all know that Facebook sells data to companies, right? That's why we're able to sometimes we'll be talking about, like Facebook has the ability to listen Facebook has the ability to hijack your microphone and then listen to whatever it is that you're talking about on your phone, and then they will now sell you what they will now like advertise the product to you on their websites. TikTok can do the same thing. Instagram can do. In fact, TikTok is very notorious for it. Instagram can do the same thing. Like so many other social media sites, have the ability to do that because so and also Google too. Like most of us use Gmail. Most of us are on you, or most of us have Gmail accounts, and so we're on YouTube. So Google and Gmail is owned by Google, and so our passwords, everything is just on there. Now, Google has the ability to steal our information and sell it to all these data companies, and those data companies will now curate and they'll now sell it to like companies that want to like sell stuff to us. So they'll now curate all their products to be able to cater to us perfectly. This is what is going on right now. But in the future, I feel like money is no longer going to be currency anymore. The thing that is going to be currency is data. Like how much are you willing to give? How much of yourself are you willing to give to be able to get something that you want? Right? This is just something I was thinking about the other day. Like it's going to get to a point where money will not be currency anymore. It will now be data. Like okay, you want to buy something, right? Tell me this and this and this about you, then you can have this thing. Because the reason why that will be profitable is because the reason why that will be profitable to the company is because they will now know more about you, right? And in a way, you'll be so dependent on them that as in it will almost feel like you're being it's not even almost feel, it will feel like you're being enslaved by them, because now they know exactly everything about you. They know how to cater to you. They know how to like, should I say, they know how to give you what you want basically. Now I talked about this movie. I referenced this movie, Don't Look Up, before. In the movie, there's this figure that is a combination of Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Tim Cook, owner of Apple. So he's like four people. He's a parody of four people in one, and he's a billionaire. In the movie, he's a billionaire. I don't know if anybody has seen the movie, right? You know what I'm talking about. So in the movie, they have this algorithm that can be able to detect how somebody, in fact, detect how somebody dies. That is how much. That is where we're heading to. We will have algorithms that will know us so well that they will know how we are going to die, and that is one hell of a dystopian future that we are headed to. So I don't know how we're going to mitigate this problem. I don't know how we're going to to escape it. Basically, the only way I know that we can escape it is to is to turn on, tune in, and drop out. Basically, just I don't know. I just don't. This is an impossible ask, not a task. An ask, an impossible ask. I don't know the amount of people that are willing to give up their phones for a while. I don't know the amount of people that are willing to like give up social media, and we all know how unhealthy and enslaving social media is, and just fucking depressing social media can be. But I don't know how many people are willing to give it all up. Like there's this question I always ask, right? In fact, no, there's this question I always ask Christians. You know how Christians always talk, and I've asked this before actually. You know how Christians always talk about the Antichrist coming, and how the Antichrist is going to come with the mark of the beast and is going to mark everybody. And if you don't want to accept the mark of the beast, then you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be, I don't know, imprisoned or something like that. And unless you accept the mark of the, and they always think that the mark of the beast is an actual mark, like the 66666. And then recently, people started coming up with this idea that the mark of the beast is like microchips that they're going to put in you, and then you're going to be able to use it to buy stuff, and you're going to be able to use it to like enter through. I don't know. There's just some there have been some weird examples, or should I say examples of the mark of the beast. But that's not it at all. Let me tell you, if actually there is going to be a mark of the beast, right, it's going to be, I've said this before, it's going to be so essential and so integral to every aspect of our life that not accepting it will literally mean suicide. Not accepting it will literally mean you being actually left behind technologically, economically, financially, medically, in every aspect of life. Do you understand? So I don't know how many people right now, even Christians, that are willing to give up their phones. Nobody is willing to like give up their phone. Nobody is willing to like turn on. Nobody's willing to turn on, tune in, and drop out of social media. Nobody's willing to turn on, tune in, and drop out of like the whole, as in the whole social media lifestyle, the whole the whole consumer culture. Nobody's willing to like give it all up. Everybody just wants to be. Everybody's willing and deliberately, as in everybody just wants to keep running this endless rat race. Nobody wants to like look up. Nobody wants to stand up. Nobody wants to like actually open their eyes and see what is going on around them. I know there are a few people that are actually looking into it and actually noticing the fucked up thing that is happening all around us. But a lot of people seem like they are chained, and they're like, and they've already been captured. Like, bro, can't you see? As in, if you see the things that are happening online, if you look at the things that are happening online, you'll be like, bro, there are people, like for example now, see, there are these neo-Nazis and these KKK people and people that always wave these Confederate flags everywhere, and they're so proud of it. And the thing that is always on my mind is like, okay, all these neo-Nazis are always waving swastika flags and stuff like that, and they're just doing it shamelessly. I'm always asking myself, like, you people know that you lost, right? Like, you people know that, you people that are claiming to be Nazis, you know that you lost. Like, Nazis were defeated in World War II. The Confederates were defeated I cannot remember the date, right, the year right now. But you know that the Nazis were defeated, right? But you're claiming to be a Nazi. Why? Like, don't you understand that you're on the loser side? Don't you understand that you are the bad, like like the Nazis are like, what is appealing to, like, what will make someone in this day and age to want to be a Nazi? Like, have you not read Mein Kampf? Have you not read any World War II book ever? Like, have you not read about the history of Adolf Hitler? Have you not read about Adolf Hitler himself? Have you not read about World War II? Don't you know what the Nazis did to the? Don't you know what the Nazis did in general, bro? Why do you think that your case would be different? Like, why do you think that you being wanting to be a neo-Nazi, as in, will mean that you're the good guy? Like, I don't understand how some people think. Actually, I don't even understand how some people think. But it just all sums up to the fact that people just want to feel among. People just don't want to be left behind. People just want to be part of something big, whether it's good or bad, whether it's right or wrong. They don't care. They just want to be part of a tribe. They just want to be part of a herd. They just want to be part of a community. So they are going to do everything in their power to feel among. You understand? Regardless of, it doesn't matter if they give themselves up. It doesn't matter if they give up their individuality, if they give up their humanity. People just want to like be part of something big, be part of something large. And so that's where we are today. That's the reason why a lot of people are um that's the reason why a lot of people, it seems that a lot of people are free, but they're actually not, well, they're actually not free. And the only way that you can like free yourself and gain true freedom is to tune in, tune out. I don't know how do they say it. Is to tune in, to turn on, tune in, and drop out. That is just the best way. So that's that about that. I've talked for a while now. I know I didn't, like I said before, like I said at the beginning, I've not dropped any episode for like 3 weeks now because I had problem with my laptop and I had to like buy a new laptop, and now this one is like serving me properly well. So I'm going to be pushing out episodes as usual. I'm not going to be missing any days anymore. So don't forget to like follow me on Twitter and like tell me what you think about the episode and like message me. That's where I am most of the time. And yeah, that's basically that about that. Thank you for like chilling with me. Thank you for giving me your listening ears. Also, I'm going to be uploading this on YouTube too. So yeah, subscribe, leave a comment, like, turn on your notification, all that good stuff. I don't know if people actually do that, but yeah, whatever. And I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, bye everybody.